engenders transformation and transfiguration. How can you imagine that the Pharisees, knowing literally every verse of the word, yet they were full of flesh and mischievity, because they didn't interact with the one they were studying about. When you begin to pray, transformation and transfiguration begins to take place. And Jesus revealed some of these things to us so that we can pattern our lives. And for those of you who pray, learn these things so that you know what to focus on when you are praying. When you are praying, your goal is to build capacity, not to create impression. 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people will clap hands for you. It doesn't mean you amount to anything. Don't waste your existence. Prayer is to engender capacity. Prayer is to bring you to the proceeding world. When you are praying, this is what you are looking for. We have distracted people who, even though they want to pray, they do it carnally, because they don't know what to look for in prayer. It's not a ground for gymnastics. It's a place to encounter God. And number 3, when you pray, transformation, transfiguration takes place. In Matthew 17 verse 2, the Bible said, after 8 days, Jesus took Peter, James and John to the mountain, and he said, there, as he prayed, after 6 days, he said, as he prayed, he said the fashion of his countenance was altered. He said his raiment began to glister, and even the clothes Jesus wore began to shine. So Jesus knew the organic technology of transformation, that when a man begins to pray, things begin to happen. And it was in the latter verse of that scripture that we now saw why transfiguration was taking place. Because when you start praying, you begin to behold. And any realm and any being you behold, you are transformed into that realm or that being. Because the Bible said they appeared before him Moses and Elijah. So he had to take his glory form in order to commune at that level. He said it does not yet appear what we shall be like. He said, but when we shall see him, we shall be like him. This is why 2 Corinthians 3:18 said, we all with open faces. Why is our face open? Because we have turned from the law. We have accepted the gospel. He said, we now behold. Beholding is the art of prayer, where you still your spirit so that you can see what God is saying, so that you can see where God is going. The gospel has removed the veil, but prayer will help you to behold. It's like the mystery of a converging lens. Those of you who are physics students, when you carry the lens and you are adjusting it, it hits a focal point where the ray of the sun is converged to a light that is as sharp as a needle. That light can set anything on fire. So your eyes have been unveiled by the gospel. But if you don't pray, you will not behold. Because beholding is a prayer technology that zooms your frequency until you become one with God's frequency. And he said when you hit that frequency, something happens. He said you are transfigured. You are metamorphosed into the glory that you see. So when you see a godless generation to a very large extent, it's because prayer has been removed. There are few who are beholding. We look Facebook and we enter pornography, enter all kinds of godless practices, and we are wondering, why are we struggling with masturbation? That's what you are beholding. Why am I struggling with immorality? That's what you are beholding. It's the law of giggle. What you goggle in is what you goggle out. You are not different from what you see and hear. And so what you need to do is to censor your atmosphere through prayer. And when you censor it and the realm covers you, you cannot but live like that realm. It's not everybody that is struggling. Everybody who is struggling because he's seeing and hearing the wrong thing. But for those who have made up their mind to live beholding, every day new level of glory comes out of them. Because if you pray, you will see. I quoted for you already Jeremiah 33 verse 3. It says, ask of me, I will answer, and I will show you. You can't pray and not see. This is why some of us, our prayer don't end with time. It ends with visions. When I go to pray, I must see something. Sometimes I'm praying for 3 hours. My mind is wandering around. I know prayer has not started. I will be there until my heart becomes silent. And the moment you hit the frequency of silence, God begins to speak. Visions begins to open. And when you come out, you will be what you saw. You will be what you hear. This is how Christianity is practiced. And this is why prayer is a responsibility of every spiritual man. Everyone who prays is not only transformed, he is also transfigured.